What's up? This is Benjamin Price, and today we're reviewing the new Luca Guadagnino film, Challengers. I haven't really done a review on this channel before, but I figured, considering there's so much anticipation around this film, my enthusiasm surrounding it, I figured now would be the time to talk about it a little bit, because it is excellent. I saw it just a little while ago, and I'm very, very excited to see it again. I think it will play very differently on a second watch. This is a excellent film. It's very much about the way in which messy people seem to hurt one another and the kind of psychological and emotional warfare they enact. It is beautifully treacherous and messy. It is very fun, and it's sort of like a screwball comedy meets an erotic thriller. There's silliness, but it never treats the characters or their relationships with anything less than a real curiosity. Just to dial back a little bit, the movie follows Tashi Duncan, who is a young up-and-coming tennis superstar, and she runs into these two guys played by Josh O'Connor and Mike Faist, and the movie sort of follows their relationship from when they're teenagers to when they're firmly in adulthood and having kids and thinking about the past, but also trying to progress into their future. And it's about the ways in which they sort of exit and re-enter each other's lives, and how their lives are defined by one another. That makes it sound way more. This makes that movie sound way more stuffy and serious than it is. It's fun. You all saw the trailer. It's the reputation around this movie feels very charged. And certainly the movie is quite erotic, but I would say in this movie in particular, there's probably less graphic nudity than there was in even Oppenheimer, you know? But it is very much about the sex and how it is used as a weapon, as a tool. It's the way in which these people work out their business, not on the tennis court. I don't know if I fully mentioned even that this is a tennis movie, and I think that speaks to one of its best qualities. Me personally, I love movies about things that I could care less about in real life, but to me, this is the textbook case of that. Along with this, kind of reminded me of The Bear in the way that it is an exploration of a sport, of a hobby, but it is about how it becomes a philosophy for the people who are truly great at it, and how these successful, ultra-talented people become their hustle, and that, in a way, these tennis superstars, their lives become the game they play. Okay, I gotta talk about the performances. Zendaya is the biggest name on the poster. She's really, really good in this film. I would often say that Zendaya is an interesting case as a movie star, just because I feel like in the past few years, she's been in a lot of things, but the things are rarely up to her level or give her, the opportunity she deserves to cook, so to speak. And this and Dune, I feel like, are really an encapsulation of her presence as a performer. The way she commands this film, and she needs to. I'm not sure anyone else honestly could have played this role that we have. I also think it's very telling in relation to Euphoria that this is really the first time Zendaya has played an adult. If you look at this film, her work in it, versus, say, her co-star Sydney Sweeney trying to segue into, quote, grown-up work in Anyone But You last year, it's very telling. And I think Zendaya, far be it for me to say it, but she has a long storied career ahead of her, and this is just the next step. This is really leveling up. I think the direction in this film by Luca Guadagnino is exceptional. I haven't seen Call Me By Your Name or Bones and All, don't flame me, but the actual tennis sequences in this movie are so captivating. I don't know how he conceived of some of the ways he frames these matches. It's unbelievable. The camera literally becomes a tennis ball. I keep saying this to people who ask me how it was. It becomes a tennis ball. I don't even know. That's what the movies are about. You know what? And I think, in particular, the climax is just excellent. The directing excellence to me. The way he turns this love triangle into an actual triangle. Zendaya in the stands, and then Mike Faist and Josh O'Connor on opposite sides of the court. It's excellent. It's taking the narrative and the thematic and making it physical. I think it's so interesting, and it's so gripping, and yeah, oh man, what a friggin' movie. Be remiss not to mention the score by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They have perfectly seized on what the pulse of this movie is. I've been listening to it for 2 weeks. The moment I got out of this movie, I needed it in my ears. It is it like thrums. It is the heartbeat of this movie. That is it somehow, you don't think a movie like this should sound like this. I think it kind of reminds me of Social Network in that way. You can imagine something more stately and more I don't know, like regal, but this is like, it has this frenetic tension that perfectly syncs up with the twisted dynamics of this whole movie. And this is maybe my favorite score they've done. Maybe. I think the Social Network one is an all-timer, but this is it's heightened, but it's not ridiculous. And it's just such a freaking jam. But Josh O'Connor, this kid, he might be the MVP of the movie for me. And I was just astounded by the level of versatility this guy has. He played Prince Edward on The Crown. But here he is like this kind of shamelessly, there's a scene where he has to find a place to stay. And the maneuvers he pulls to do that, it's great. He has such a firm understanding of who this character is. He blew me away in this. This is very loose and very disjointed, but I would say absolutely go see Challengers this weekend. Go see it with as many people as you can, on the biggest screen as you can. It is a tour de force, technically and narratively. I'm so excited to see what happens with this cast. I'm so excited to see what Luca does next. I gotta go back and watch some of his films. It is a exhilaratingly salacious. So I would definitely say check this out. This is gonna get 4 rackets out of 5. Yeah, let's call it that. Okay, comes out Friday. We'll see if I do another one of these. Okay, bye.